Hey everybody, Casey here with Life Abstract Gaming, and this week I want to talk about the latest episodes of one of the most popular animated shows currently airing today, Steven Universe.
We are the crystal gems. We'll always save the day. And if you think we can, we'll always find a way. That's why the people of this world believe in garnet, amethyst, and pearl, and Steven.
If you're not a fan of Steven Universe, you really should be. Its premise isn't exactly new. You follow a young boy with magical powers who's being taken care of and mentored by his alien aunts. Granted, it's weird when you think too hard about it, but at its core, Steven Universe is largely a show about coming of age, and interestingly enough, about parenting and overall exploring self-identity. It's been praised for its positive depictions of LGBTQ relationships, and it's especially noteworthy for being Cartoon Network's first animated series to be solely created by a woman, Rebecca Sugar, who previously worked on another amazing show on Cartoon Network, Adventure Time. Similarly to other Cartoon Network shows, Steven Universe takes long breaks between airing groups of new episodes. The latest episodes that have aired closed out the show's fourth season, so I want to talk mainly about those events as opposed to the entire fourth season. Of course, if you're not caught up, pretty much everything I'm going to be discussing will be spoilers, therefore you can consider this your spoiler warning. There were three big moments that the end of the season provided us with, and I think it speaks highly of the depth of the show that none of them had to do with new characters fusing, which are usually some of the most exciting moments for the series. The first two moments I want to talk about are sort of tied together and have to do with how we sort of learn about the origins of Steven's pet lion. It's done completely devoid of dealing with the actual lion itself, and instead is the high point of the growing relationship between Steven and Lars. After Steven selflessly gives himself up to stop Aquamarine from kidnapping his friends, Lars is left behind after running and hiding aboard the ship like a coward. It was a real low point for the character, as he left behind his love interest Sadie in a moment where she called out to him for help. It really sucked because he was starting to make a positive turn previously, as his hostile attitude towards Steven has been softening steadily, especially in the episode The Good Lars, where Steven encourages him to follow his passion and bake. That episode, however, also ends with Lars disappointing his friends as well as us, the viewers, as he so often does. But after a heartfelt discussion between the two guys, and the admission from Lars that he's always been a coward, he finally manages to grow a backbone and help Steven as well as the off-color gems they meet underground in the gem homeworld. Lars' heroic actions, however, cost him his life, which is the first on-screen death of a character in the show's run. The show immediately saves you from the heartbreak, though, by revealing a new power of Steven's, which is to revive the dead as a magical familiar. Lars comes back to life, but his skin and hair turn pink in the exact same way Lion looks. Suddenly, we learn that Steven's mother must have similarly revived the dead lion and kept it as a secret pet. The pocket dimension that exists in Lion's mane also now exists in Lars' hair, and Steven is able to travel between the 2 points, ignoring time and space and granting him a pathway back to Earth. Not since Connie has any other side character been brought directly into the fold of the main heroes, so this is a big deal for Lars, who has finally become a much more likable character. I'm eager to see what the new Lars' role will be in the show going forward. The last big moment has to do with a major revelation from the episode The Trial, where Steven is hauled into a court-like setting to plead his case in the murder of Pink Diamond. Though he confesses to it, he's unable to give satisfactory answers as to how he committed the crime. We as the audience know this is because Steven's mother was the one who supposedly did this before he ever existed, but Blue and Yellow Diamond don't understand that. However, while Yellow is content in getting the execution over with, Blue Diamond is truly troubled and curious as to exactly how it happened. We learn that it's not an easy thing to shatter a diamond. In fact, it's practically impossible. As Steven's public defender comes to realize the events seem more and more implausible, and comes to the conclusion that the crime could only have been committed with the involvement of another diamond. This accusation opens the idea that Steven's mother may have been set up to take the fall for a much larger conspiracy, one that it seems Yellow Diamond may have played a hand in. This revelation seems to also suggest that the relationships of the Diamond matriarchs are very complicated and possibly adversarial, as Yellow and Blue Diamond begin to argue. Is it possible that these events will sow seeds of a pending homeworld civil war? We already know that there's a disconnect between certain higher and lower class gems, illustrated even in the events before the trial, where Topaz almost helped Steven and Lars escape after overhearing their conversation. It's very likely Steven will end up leading a new gem rebellion just like his mother did before him. The series of events of these past few episodes introduce some very satisfactory plot points, and open the doors to many more questions about the Gem Society and the events of the rebellion on Earth. We got to see the Gem homeworld for the first time in the series, but honestly, I don't feel like we were really shown much of anything before the setting moved underground to the familiar-looking abandoned kindergarten. But with Lars staying behind on the planet as a gateway, I do suspect we'll begin to see a lot more. So, what did you think of the season 4 finale? Do you think a Gem Homeworld war is a possibility, or was there anything important that you think I missed? Let us know. We're listening.